Green became a 22.1 per game scorer after the All-Star break. And Kevin Porter Jr. was dropping like 6 dimes a night for the whole season. Look, I want to say this. Did you guys just hear that? I accidentally knocked over a water bottle. But look, I don't want to say they need to be. Also, I have not slept in 32 hours. I've made so many videos. I've done so much. Guys, the thing is, this Houston Rockets team, I'm not saying that they need to be the Oklahoma City Thunder and just throw in young talent. I like the incorporation of veterans. But Christian Wood, let's go get your return on him. You guys paid him. You guys looked smart. He was the player you thought he was in free agency, and it worked out. Cash it in. Don't let him walk away for free. Okay? And, I would love them to keep Jae'Sean Tate. And this is where I just look at all this, and I definitely think it's interesting because Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., that's the backcourt. I like that. I like KPJ being the point guard, Jalen Green being the athletic freak at shooting guard. Then, arguably, Alperen Sengun is maybe the future center. Some people are all for it. Some people are like, he's not long enough. He's an offensive rebounding center. He's Enes Kanter. I personally think he can become a good defender by developing better drop coverage and just footwork around in the paint, and he can be a plus defender. This guy, literally was dishing out 3 assists a game with his 7 rebounds, okay? And he averaged a block and a steal a game, so it's nothing be like, what are you doing? And that's where I enjoyed this team, because I think the starting lineup next year, they need to move on from Eric Gordon, cash in on him as well, and Christian Wood. Dennis Schroeder's going to walk. And I'm looking at the roster of the Rockets, and they're putting Jock Landale on the roster when he never played for them. But I think next year's starting lineup should look something like Alperen Sengun. The power forward might be Jabari Smith. Okay, we're going to put Jabari Smith right there if they have the first pick. So Alperen Sengun, Jabari Smith, and then I would put Jae'Sean Tate right there, Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., okay? And then backing up, Alperen Sengun would probably be Usman Garuba. And then you have that power forward backing up our man Jabari Smith. You could argue Kenyon Martin Jr. And that small forward, I had Jae'Sean Tate, so you have Garrison Matthews backing him up. Jalen Green's backed up by Josh Christopher. And then who's backing up Kevin Porter Jr.? Deshaun Nix, okay? And that's what I'm saying. These are the guys they need to get rid of the roster. Christian Wood, Eric Gordon, and my man David Waba. Get rid of those guys off the roster. It's not because I'm trying to turn this team into the Thunder. No, go get vets. Go get vets. But go get Pat Beverly type vets. Okay? Guys who are defense first, team first. Like Eric Gordon and Christian Wood are going out there and getting their buckets. Okay? They're balling out so they can go play for other teams once their contract ends, or if they get traded to keep their trade value up. And that's why I think go out there and get a guy like Aaron Baines, who's still recovering from that horrific injury. He would give some he would be a locker room presence. Theo Penson, he's been basically gawked at and constantly giving great comments about how he doesn't even play like a single minute the entire year, but he's considered one of the greatest teammates of all time. So that's what I think. Let's move on, because I think Christian Wood, you can get a first-round pick. Eric Gordon, you could arguably get a future first-round pick. Waba, you might just have to cut him, or you could attach him with Eric Gordon. Somebody would want him. And that's where I just think that's what's best in my mind. This team went 20-62. Let's just go in young. Let's just go young. And hopefully Usman Garuba is fine. Also, Bruno Fernando, he had some moments out there. So if they can bring back Bruno Fernando for cheap, I am for that. Bruno Fernando was a guy. I seriously enjoyed watching him at the University of Maryland. I'm from Maryland, if you guys didn't know that. I go to the University of Kansas. I actually got a job offer. It's kind of funny. Your boy might be living somewhere dope next year once he graduates college. Maybe a beach. As a journalist on the beach.